if you're new to IRBNet, then you probably already created a profile. You can see all of your details here in user profile. And if you just got done, you probably see a page that looks similar to this. You may not have anything listed down here below, and that's totally fine. This is where the projects you have created will show up. So if you are a prolific user at Cal State Long Beach, then you should see all the protocols that you have submitted to IRBNet here listed below. So if you are just starting and you need to upload all of your documents in order to start down the process for getting approval, the first thing you need to have is actually the documents to do so. And you can get them from a bunch of different places. So the first thing I want to show you guys is the CSULB IRB websites. If you're having difficulty locating it, I just recommend typing in here CSULB IRB in the search bar. You should be able to find our website pretty quickly from there. And then you'll see that we have quite a bit of information listed for you, as well as more detailed information down below. So if you're just starting with your protocol and you click on the Getting Started for Protocol tab, you'll see a bunch of information as well as a lot of forms that you may want to use when submitting your protocol. Another place you can actually find the forms is if you go to Forms and Policies and Forms and Templates. You can find all the forms there as well. So the protocol application, the template for your informed consent, they're all listed there. Another place that you can locate all of the documents is actually on IRBNet. You'll see here it says Forms and Templates. If you click there, you'll again find a bunch of the forms we have that you can download very quickly. So going back to My Projects, let's say that you've downloaded all of your forms and you're ready to now upload the information that you've put in them. So the very first thing, if you're starting from scratch and creating a new project, is to go to Create New Project. Once you click there, you'll see a new screen. The research institution should be in there already for you as Cal State Long Beach, because that should be the institution you affiliated yourself with. In here, you're going to type in what your title is. Now this step, while seeming very mundane, is important. Your title should be the same thing you have listed on your application as your title. So don't list in here my graduate thesis as the title. It needs to be the title that's for the actual research project you're doing. So in other words, whatever you have listed here in section 4 of the application needs to be the same exact title that you have listed on here on IRBNet. So same exact thing on the title box on IRBNet as well as on your application. Here you're going to list your name for the primary investigator. Quick note to anyone who is a student. Students are typically the primary investigator, not your faculty advisor, so you do want to put your name there. So you type in your first and last name. And then, as usual, anything that has the red asterisk means that it's required, but the rest of it is not. But if you'd like to put in your actual title, your degree there, or any keywords, sponsor information, you can do that. The internal reference number, don't worry about putting anything in this box. We actually take care of that on our end once you submit it. So at this point, we're good to go, so we're going to hit Continue. In this next page, you're in the actual designer page for your project. You'll see here that your research project has been now given a number attached to it, and then it says package. So we're in package number 1, work in progress because it hasn't been submitted yet. And then it has 2 steps to it. The first step is a chance for you to actually download documents. So again, if you didn't download anything from our website, or if you haven't downloaded anything from the form and now you're like, oh, actually I need to download the template for the informed consent, you can find it in this drop down and download anything you need. That's all step 1 is for. Step 2 is for uploading your documents that you want to attach to your project. So that's going to be your application, your faculty advisor letter if you're students, your informed consents or child assents, maybe a flyer or recruitment script, maybe some questionnaires. All of that stuff is going to be now attached to IRBNet. So just like you would use any other sort of website, you're going to click on Attach New Document. And then from there, you can search wherever you have your document saved to add it to the application or to the package. So the very first thing I'm going to do is upload my protocol application. It is in Word format, and we do need you to upload it in Word format. So I'm going to double click on this, and then we can see that it is now uploaded. You do have the option to change the description, so if what you have the document saved as is not what you want showing up on IRBnet, feel free to type in there and change it. And then the other thing it does ask you to do is to choose the document type. What you'll see in here is a drop-down list of a lot of different choices. Sometimes the choices don't line up perfect, so just use your best discretion when trying to name things. This, I'm going to call my application form because that does make sense. This is my protocol application, so I'm going to click on application form for that. When you're uploading the rest of your materials, your appendix material, you should have seen information from the IRB saying that we do have a very particular way that we want everything to be uploaded. So I'm going to show you how that is right now. So again, your application should be in a Word document. The rest of your appendix material should also be in Word documents, except for your letters, your faculty advisor letter, as well as your approval letters or permission letters. Those should be in PDF format. So the very first thing I'm going to upload is my example of the faculty advisor letter. So again, it is in PDF formats. We can see here that it has all of the information listed. So here's all the questions we ask you to address, then all of the information answered, as well as the advisor's signature down there. And what we want to do is make sure that this is separate from everything else. So even though it is a letter, we do want it to be uploaded separate from your approval letters or your permission letters. So faculty supervisor statement, everything filled out in it. The biggest problem that we have sometimes with the faculty supervisor letter is one of two things. One is just that it's not fully filled out, or two, the information the faculty advisor provided wasn't enough information. So just make sure that that questions are addressed. It can be brief, but just make sure that the questions are well addressed in the brief statement. So I'm going to now upload the faculty advisor letter. Now in the drop-down there won't be anything that says faculty advisor letter, but there is a letter option, so I'm going to choose that. And then please note that I have labeled it. So I have here for the faculty supervisor letter as marked as Appendix A. In my actual protocol application, I reference Appendix A, so that way the reviewer can see very clearly where to find it. So you do want to make sure that your appendix material are labeled in both the protocol application as well as in IRBnet. So Appendix A here clearly, so if the reviewer wants to find my faculty supervisor letter, they can very easily see where it's located at. So again, faculty supervisor letter, thoroughly filled out in PDF format, make sure there's a signature on it, and uploaded separately onto IRBnet. The next thing I'm going to upload is the permission letters. Permission letters, again, should be in PDF format, not Word. They should have all of them together lumped into one appendix. So in this case, for my project, I'm recruiting from 3 different faculty members in the departments, 5 classes altogether. So I have a nice little description here explaining the purpose of the study, what they're actually allowing me to do, the actual recruitment they're allowing me to do, the name of the individual with their information and their signature on it, and it's also printed on letterhead, and that's exactly what we need from the PI, is a letter explaining that with the title of the research, explaining what you're being allowed to do, the signature of the individual acknowledging that they're allowing you to do this, and it needs to be printed on department letterhead or agency letterhead if you're recruiting from a source outside of the university. But again, the letter should be all lumped together in one appendix, and it should be in PDF format. So that is ready to go, so I'm going to attach that now. Again, as you can see already, I've labeled it as Appendix B. This is again a letter, so I'm going to choose letter. Good, and all set there. The next thing I'm going to upload is my informed consents. Now the informed consents should be filled out completely and ready to go. If you happen to have a child assent, then make sure you include the child assent with your informed consent here. The informed consent template is on the website, and as well as in the forms and templates option over here in the left navigation toolbar. Please use the informed consent template. It's the best thing to use to guide you. It specifically says in order to answer the procedures of test question, use the information from this portion of your protocol application. So it tells you exactly what we're looking for to fill out. So use the templates and make sure all the information is included in there. So again, I have my informed consents as well as my child assent. Since I have minors in my research, they're all grouped together in one appendix, and they are in Word format. So attach new document again. Moving on to Appendix C. Now there is an informed consent option in the drop-down. Consent form right here, so I'm going to choose that for that. And then the last thing I need to upload is my flyer, my questionnaire, as well as my recruitment script that I have for this protocol. You can lump all of those together in their own appendix, so you don't need a separate one for each one. So any other material you have outside of permission letters, your faculty advisor letter, and informed consents or a child assent should be lumped together in their own appendix. So you'll see here I have a recruitment flyer and recruitment script and then a questionnaire. So it's all here in one appendix. Quick note on recruitment flyers. Please make sure that your recruitment flyer gives a brief description of the purpose and explains what the length of participation will take. So is it 1 day for 2 hours? Is it a whole month for coming every single day? Just make sure that information is listed in there. And obviously it should have your contact information. For recruitment scripts, again, the same thing applies. Make sure that there's a brief description to your individuals about what the purpose is and what they'll actually be doing. And then also make sure that you tell them in the script how long it'll take for full participation. Any of your questionnaires, we just want to see what it will look like. If you have a open-ended sort of script you're using with your participants, then we still want to see the questions you're going to be using to prompt them. So all of that should be included in this one appendix. And again, this is in Word format. So again, go into attach new document. We're now into Appendix D. We're attached. And because there's not going to be something that really states well what's included in this appendix material, I'm just going to choose Other. Okay, so now I have everything attached that I need for my new project. I have my application as well as all of my appendix material, and all of it is labeled properly so it's easy to find when they're reading my protocol application. In case you want to download something you have in here, you can click on this little page to view the document. If you want to make edits, you can actually update the document in real time by clicking on the little pencil. So you do have those options in case you want to make any last-second changes. At this point, I am ready to go to submit this package. There's a couple more steps involved. The first one is to share this project. You do not have to do this, but I'm just showing this especially for students. If you have faculty advisors or other board members that want to see what you've done on IRBnet and see all the information that's uploaded there, you can share this project with them through the Share Project tab. No matter what, if you're a student or a faculty member, you do need to sign the package. So by clicking on Sign this package, you'll come to this page where you're going to choose what you are. So here's my name as what I'm going to choose. So again, more than likely if you're on IRBnet and filling everything out, you're the primary investigator. But if you're something different, you can choose that. I'm going to choose primary investigator, and then I'm going to click the Sign button. It is going to ask you for your password. So let me put that in here. and then it'll sign the package for you. So there's your signature right there. So now the very last thing we have to do is finally submit the package. So by clicking on submit this package, it'll take you to a next page that'll ask you what is the board. So if this is human research that you're doing, then you will be using the Institutional Review Board. ICIC is for animal research. So you're going to make sure that this one is highlighted, the Institutional Review Board. You're going to click continue. And then you're going to choose submission type. So again, if this is your very first time uploading these documents for this project, then it's a new project. So you're going to choose that in the submission type. So I haven't uploaded any of this stuff before. This is a totally new project I've come up with that needs IRB approval. So I'm going to click new project for the submission type. In this box here, it gives you an option to add in any comments you have. This will be emailed to us. It shows up saying that you have submitted a new project and these are the comments you have. So if you have any questions, you can definitely type those in there. But once you're done with that, you can go ahead and click submit. And then you should see a page that looks like this, which is kind of scary at first because you're wondering what just happened, but it's just telling you that you have submitted and that we, the individuals in compliance at the IRB, have been notified that you've submitted and it's ready to go. You might also see a reminder pop up here, and it's telling you that you signed your package, which is totally fine. So now if you go back to your projects, you'll see here's the one I just submitted right here, that it has been submitted as a new project and it's pending review. And you also see that it's locked, meaning that you can no longer go on and make any changes to it. In order to make changes to it, it will have to be unlocked. So what happens next is an individual in compliance at the IRB will look through your protocol application and your appendix material. If they have any changes they'd like you to make, they will send you an email through IRBnet letting you know what those changes are. And at that point in time, they will unlock it for you so you can make those changes. All right, so let's say at this point, your protocol has been sent out to be reviewed and it's been expedited reviewed and your reviewers have submitted a modification letter for you. So I'm going to show you what that looks like really quickly on my end by updating it as needing some changes. Okay. We're going to put a modification letter on the package. Okay, so when I refresh here, you'll see that we have some updates. So what will have happened is you'll receive an email saying, please log on to IRBnet. The committee has decided that you have some changes that need to happen, and you have a modification letter on your actual protocol. And the reminders here will tell you that. So it'll say board action, and it'll say that modifications are required, and it'll also say a little information about the modification letter, that there's a document for you. So typically people have a little bit of a difficult time actually finding the letter, and so I'm just going to show you really quickly that process. So once you know that you have a modification letter, you're going to enter into the correct protocol. So it's not this one that the information was sent for, it was this protocol. So I'm going to click on it. And then you'll see that you're back in this project overview tab. This is the designer where you uploaded all of your documents. That's locked currently. So because it's locked, that means you can't make any changes to it. And that's on purpose because I'm going to show you what we're going to do here. If you go to the left navigation bar, you'll see that there's an option to click on reviews. When you click on reviews, you'll actually see your modification letter. So you can click here and download the document. So here's the modification letter, and it would list out down below any of the changes that are required for you in order to gain approval. So now you have your modification letter. You go through, you read what needs to be changed, and then you make those changes. So let's say you're at the point where you've made those changes. So hypothetically, let's say that I needed to change information in section 13, 14, and 16 of my application. So I opened up my application, I made those changes, and then also my informed consent and my child assent had some changes that were necessary. So again, I open up that document and make the changes that were requested of me. So now, you'll see at the bottom of your modification letter, there's information about submitting your changes in a subsequent package. So that gets confusing to people. So again, if you go to the designer, which is where you would normally upload documents, you'll see that it's locked. So you can't make any changes to this package, which is on purpose. We don't want anything to change in this original package. We want it to be addressed in a subsequent package. So in order to do that, you're going to click on Project History. And you'll see a button right in the middle that says Create New Package. You're going to click on this, and then you'll see that you've been magically sent to the designer page again. Now this designer page is a little bit different in that it is no longer -1, the original one, and it's now -2. So you are now in that subsequent package. So the -1 still exists, but it's locked so you can't touch it. Now we're in -2, the subsequent package, to the original protocol that we submitted. And in here is where I want to upload any of the documents that I've changed to address the requirements in the modification letter. So again, we were asked to make changes to section 13, 14, and 16 of the application, as well as changes to my informed consent and my child assent. So I need to upload those documents to this package. Just one thing of note, if the modification letter doesn't ask you to make any changes to, let's say, your faculty advisor letter, your approval letters, your questionnaires, none of that was asked, then you do not need to re-upload it. You only need to upload the documents that reflect the changes requested in the modification letter. So I'm going to click here, just like we did before, attach new documents. I'm going to attach the new version of my protocol application, and then choose application form, and then I said my informed consent and child assent needed to be addressed. So I'm going to upload that one and change it to consent form for document type, and then I'm good to go. So the process from there is exactly the same. You're going to sign the package, and then you're going to submit the package. So click on the same thing, go through the same process to sign and to submit, and then that will be sent off again to compliance to let them know that you are ready to have your changes reviewed.